Do you know that silence? The one that happens in your car on the drive home from a first date? Or right after you shut your apartment door? That's when it starts. The performance review. You just start replaying every single word, every joke that didn't land, every awkward pause, and you just can't help but wonder, did I pass? Look, we've all been there, right? It's this almost universal feeling. You walk in, you're hoping for a real connection, but you walk out feeling like you were just on stage. You were the star, the writer, the director of this one-night-only show, and you have absolutely no idea if the audience wants you back for a second act. And the stakes feel so incredibly high because, well, in a way they are. And the curtain goes up and comes down way faster than you think.
7 seconds. That's it. That's how fast we form a really strong first impression of someone. I mean, before you've even had a chance to order a drink, their brain has already run a whole diagnostic on you. So today, we're going to tear that audition feeling apart. We're going to figure out how to turn that high-pressure test into just an opportunity, a chance to be present, to connect for real, and to actually find out if something is there. You're listening to Stereo Butterflies. We talk about love, lust, and loneliness like no one's listening. This episode was crafted with the help of AI technology to ensure high-quality insights.
So let's just get right into it. Our brains are hardwired for survival, which means they are built to make incredibly fast judgments. In those first few moments, we're just scanning. We're scanning for confidence, for warmth, for safety. I mean, think about it. The way you say hello, that little bit of warmth in your smile, whether your phone is face down on the table or put away in your pocket, these are not small details. They're literally the opening lines of your story. And here's the thing. Most of these impression killers, they're totally unintentional. I mean, nobody plans on being late or talking over someone. But these little mistakes send really powerful, unspoken signals, things like disrespect or just plain disinterest. And they can kill a vibe before it even has a chance to get started, basically turning that 7-second judgment into a self-fulfilling prophecy. So, let's say you've navigated that 7-second window. Now you're at the main event, the conversation. And this is where we have to make a really important distinction. The goal here isn't to conduct an interview, right? It's not about just exchanging a list of facts about your lives. The goal is to build a bridge between two people, to create a shared experience with your words.
Just let that sink in for a second. In a world where everybody is just screaming to be heard, to be seen, to impress, probably the most powerful thing you can do is just offer your quiet, focused attention. Making your date feel genuinely heard, it is so much more magnetic than reciting your resume or telling your most polished stories. It's the difference between talking at someone and building something with them, and you can feel the difference immediately. On one side, you have the interrogation. It feels cold, it feels sterile, like you're just going down a checklist. So, where'd you go to school? What do you do for work? But on the other side, you have connection. And that's driven by real curiosity. It moves from a question to a shared story to maybe some playful banter. One feels like a test. The other feels like a discovery. You know, creating the right atmosphere, it's everything. A first date should feel light and hopeful and maybe even fun. But these topics here, they're total vibe killers. It's not that you can't ever talk about them, but they just carry so much weight. Bringing them up too soon is kind of like showing up for a weekend trip with 3 giant, heavy suitcases. It's better to save the deep, complex stuff for when you've actually built a foundation of trust.
The dreaded awkward pause. Okay, here's a secret. It's only awkward if you decide it is. Instead of panicking, you can actually use it. First, just smile and breathe. It just calms the energy down instantly. Then you just call it out gently. A simple first date jitters, right? Turns your own anxiety into a shared human moment. And then you just pivot with the fun question. And just like that, you've turned this moment of, oh no, into a real connecting laugh. Of course, it's not just about what we say. So much of what we communicate isn't said out loud at all. Our body language, how we sit, where we look, our hand gestures, it's constantly sending signals. It's like the subtext for the entire date. And honestly, it often tells the truth a lot more clearly than our words do. And there's a really fine line here. Confidence is magnetic. It's an open, relaxed posture. It's a warm gaze. It's leaning in just a little bit when they talk. It says, I'm comfortable with me and I'm comfortable with you. But arrogance is a turn-off. It's taking up way too much space. It's staring instead of looking, or making these little dismissive hand gestures. Confidence invites someone in. Arrogance builds a wall. Okay, here's another subtle but really crucial one. Mirroring. That happens naturally when you have rapport. When you're connecting with someone, you just subconsciously start to match their energy, their posture, even how fast they talk. It just happens. But mimicking is the awkward, conscious version of that. It's when you copy every move they make a second later. One feels like you're in sync, the other feels, well, it feels like a weird, creepy echo. And when you're giving compliments, authenticity is the whole game. I mean, anyone can say, you have nice eyes, and it just feels rehearsed. A much more powerful way to do it is to compliment something that is uniquely them. Their energy, their personality, how passionate they are. Saying something like, I love how your face lights up when you talk about that, shows that you're not just looking at them, you're actually seeing them. And that is the best compliment you can ever give. So this all leads us to the main event, the core idea, the one mindset shift that pulls all of this advice together. We've talked about impressions, conversation, body language, but all of it, every piece of it, is just in service of this one central goal. This is the real secret to getting out of your own head and turning that audition into an actual connection. This is it right here. So much of our dating anxiety comes from this intense pressure to be perfect. To have the perfect joke, the perfect story, the perfect smile. It's exhausting. And honestly, it's fake. The moment you let go of trying to be perfect and you replace it with the goal of just being present, of really listening, of responding in the moment, of just being yourself, all that pressure just melts away. So maybe the way we measure a successful date is all wrong. Maybe it's not about a flawless performance. Maybe it just comes down to these three things. Was there mutual respect? Did you feel like you could actually be yourself? And maybe most important of all, did you have fun? If you can say yes to those three things, the date was a success. Period. No matter if there's a second one or not. And that right there, that changes the entire game. We started this whole thing with that awful failed audition feeling. But here's the answer. You're not there to win a prize. You were there on a mission of discovery. The goal isn't to convince them that you're good enough. It's to figure out if you genuinely like each other. And that simple shift in perspective, it gives you all the power back. It's not a test of your worth. It's a test of your compatibility. So I'll just leave you with this question. What if your next first date wasn't a test at all, but an adventure? What if you walked in not with fear, but with curiosity, as just a chance to meet another human being, share a moment in time, and maybe, just maybe, find the start of something real? If this episode gave you value, share it with someone you care about, hit subscribe, and leave a review. You've been listening to Stereo Butterfly.